Hello my friends who are listening to Ebird Online, and I'm back with another review. So guys, I've managed to refrain from covering this couple for the whole season, and the truth be told, I feel much better for it. It's very clear that this is the ultimate one-sided relationship, but this week, guys, the wheels have fallen off. And so for the first time, I'm going to be talking about Clayton and Anali. But watching this couple, as I have, every week, it was always very clear to me that Anali, well, she's not in love with Clayton. Yes, that's right, it's 90 Day Fiancé Season 10, and it's a full breakdown of the relationship of Anali and Clayton. Yes, I'm going to give you the top 10 times that Anali let us all know that she wasn't the slightest bit into Clayton. I'm going to give you all the red flags. Guys, very quickly, thank you to everybody who's subscribed to my channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. And if you enjoy this review, please consider sharing on social media. Thanks guys. Right, so without further ado, I give you Clayton and Anali. So Anali's from Peru and Clayton's from America. He's a cybersecurity analyst and they've been dating for 3 years. Clayton still lives at home and Anali moved to the United States to be with her love and to get married on the K1 visa. Well, that's the official blurb. My take on the couple is as thus. Clayton looks like he's going through the awkward phase of an awkward phase. And he's not a bad guy, but it's the kind of guy you'd find, well, where? Nestling in your friend zone. Immediately. And without being too crude, he looks like the kind of chap whose pubes are longer than his penis. Now on to Anali. She's a misery guts from Peru. And I've got to say, I'm pretty glad that I don't speak any Spanish whatsoever, because her boring voice is actually a crime on my ears. If I knew what she was saying, it would be even worse. She also has a quite unusual relationship with the truth, i.e. she doesn't know it, and she'll never tell it. Anyway, let's look at their living situation. And guys, Clayton lives with quite the array of pets.
You're so mad. Look at those teeth chatter. He doesn't want to be in the pretty pig contest. I have 2 guinea pigs, baby pig, and chocolate.
Clayton also has 2 chihuahuas, and the beds and cages and so on take up about 70% of the floor space in his apartment. And I guess if that were the only problem, Anali might be able to deal with things. But guys, the guinea pigs are the very least of her worries.
I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment. My mom lives in like a walk-in closet attached to the living room so she can save up money to get her own place.
Good boys, they love mamas.
We lived in this apartment about 3 years. When we went to come and look, I opened a door and I said, oh, this is my place right here.
So yeah, Clayton's 26, he lives with his mum. Yep, that's right guys, he's living the dream. And guys, according to Clayton, his mum's a hoarder. There are boxes upon boxes of crap all over the apartment. Clayton lets production know that his mum just hangs on to things for too long. Yes, Clayton, one of those things is you. Come on guys, she should have let him go by now. Anyway guys, here's every single time Anali proved that she didn't fancy Clayton. And in at number 10, it was the lacklustre response to Clayton's proposal of marriage. Clayton travelled over to Peru to see Anali for the very first time, and just 4 days in, he decided to pop the question.
So I decided to propose to her. She said, aw, and then didn't say anything else. I was like, so yes? And she said, yeah. It was kind of like a delayed yes, so I'm hoping it wasn't like by coercion or force, but I did get the yes in the end, so I guess that's a win.
Oh good lord guys, it really wasn't I will of the oh okay then variety. And the Ebird has every reason to believe that this was running on a loop inside Anali's head, and Clayton tells us the couple got on extremely well, but, well, it is Clayton telling this story. And so if you don't mind, I'll reserve judgment. And so in at number 9, it's the fact that Clayton is Anali's dirty little secret. Well, kind of. She still hasn't told her dad that she's moved to America to be with Clayton and to get married. She's told him that she's got a job waiting for her in the US, and that's why she's travelled. So guys, she spent the whole 3 months point blank refusing to actually tell her dad about Clayton. She also refused to post the couple on social media, but Clayton wouldn't let it drop and he absolutely insisted. And finally, very reluctantly, she did it.
Solo no publico porque sí, obvio mi papá lo sabe, pero solo quiero hacerte feliz. Voy a hacerlo. Okay.
She posted a photo of them both on social media. But did she actually tell her father? According to her, he'll definitely see it, but will he? Maybe she's restricted his access, like the Ebird does with Mummy Ebird. I guess only time will tell. But poor Clayton's acting as if she's thrown herself on his funeral pyre. Clayton, she's given you very, very little, but guys, look how elated he is.
Publicado.
I finally feel like Anali is hearing me, and I feel understood for once. I'm elated that she would post about us and post such a sweet message. It just makes me happy that she would do that.
Oh, Clayton, she's breadcrumbing you. And next, in at number 8, Anali and her disinclination to learn English. And before the polyglots amongst us say, oh, English people never learn other languages, why should they say anything about someone coming to America and not learning English? I'll tell you why. She's young, she's educated, she has a degree. And the couple have been planning this K1 visa for a year and a half, so I would have expected she'd be a little further along in her understanding of English. And also she's going to be living with Clayton's mum, who thus far has only learned 3 words in Spanish.
Hey, Emma.
Oh, I think you too.
That's cute.
Wait, what? Guys, for a moment there, I actually thought that she was Spanish. I thought Violet was actually from Spain. Violet speaks just like a native. Oh, Lord. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm duty-bound to conclude that Anali doesn't take this relationship that seriously, otherwise she would have surely learned some English. Anyway, in at number, where are we, 10, 9, 8, 7? Oh yes, one of my favourites. Anali's absolute reluctance to sleep with Clayton. So on the very first night, this happened.
Divide la cama el peluche, ¿qué? Mi
Why?
espacio.
Hey.
Es mi espacio. Es que necesito dormir bien, así que bye.
Oh dear, she doesn't want a bar of him. I thought perhaps they'd never had sex with each other before, but that's not correct. They'd slept together whilst he was in Peru. So I can understand his surprise. I'm not sure why she was so reluctant, but she later told Clayton that it was because his mum was in the same apartment. Well, I guess as excuses go, it's pretty good. I suppose she does seem somewhat of a prude. Anali, I'll lie you a tell. So a few days later, the couple decided to visit Clayton's sister, Brandy, and Clayton thought his luck was going to be in. And guys, just for context, the first time that they met, Brandy was extremely rude to Anali, and she told her in no uncertain terms that she believed she was with Clayton just for the green card. God forbid! And the two left things on a rather sour note. And so of course Clayton's hoping they can smooth everything out, but not nearly as much as he's hoping he'll get his end away.
Me and Anali are going to be away from home. We're going to be alone in a hotel room. Hopefully things happen when, we're alone and mom's not in the house. Maybe this might be the time. Hopefully.
Guys, we have nothing if we don't have hope. However ridiculous that might be, Clayton, she doesn't fancy you. You spend all day on your computer playing games, and when you're not doing that, you're bathing your guinea pigs. She finds you weird. And so anyway, the trio go apple picking, and Brandy duly apologises for being such a biatch to Anali, and the pair hug it out. And then it's back to the hotel. And so Clayton decided to set the mood. Whilst Anali was out of the room, he dimmed the lights, and then he arranged himself carefully on the bed, in what he hoped was a seductive pose. It's giving me peak Ricky Gervais. For reasons best known to herself, Anali failed to find this sexy. Guys, it was so cringeworthy. So she walked into the room, and Clayton looked at her alluringly. And Anali actually told production he thinks he looks like a model laying there, but in fact, he looks like a cow, all splayed out. Guys, I've given some disses whilst doing these reviews, but that one was a little much even for the Ebird. Like a cow, all splayed out.
Chicky.
Hi.
Hi.
Cuando llego a la habitación, mi sorpresa es que Clayton estaba esperándome.
But guys, did you notice the look on Annalie's face as she walked in? She had a look of pure unadulterated disgust. She could see the bozo in Clayton a mile off. And so Clayton started massaging Annalie. And around about, 10 seconds in, she announced she was tired. And she told Clayton she wanted to go to sleep. Poor Clayton. It's clear the chemistry just isn't there. Clayton explains to Annalie that he has blue balls. Yeah, she's unbothered. Clayton seems to be a human sleeping tablet. This is a red flag if ever I saw one. And so yeah, in at number 6 is the fact that Annalie has spent the whole season with resting bitch face. It seems she doesn't really like the way that Clayton is or lives. Firstly, she complains about the mess in the apartment, and then she complains about the fact that apparently Clayton wants her to assume responsibility for washing the guinea pigs because he's allergic to them. Why have you got them then? And she also finds it weird that despite the lack of space, 70% of the room is taken up by guinea pig cages and dog beds. And then there's also the fact that Clayton spends most of his time in his room playing computer games. So it would seem that Annalie doesn't like the way that Clayton is. And these are all things which she couldn't have known properly when he was in Peru. But now she sees him in his natural habitat, I don't think she likes what she sees. And so in at number 5 is the fact that Clayton doesn't have any friends. So Annalie questioned him about this and she asked, well, where are your friends? Who's your social group? And he said, well, I just have one friend. And it's a friend I've had for 10 years. And then he had to admit he's only ever met this friend online, notwithstanding the fact that he describes him as his best friend. What? Guys, this is weird. I have every reason to believe that Clayton's a social experiment. What kind of person is this? So with a bit of nudging from Annalie, the couple decide to meet up with Clayton's friend Cameron.
It's exciting to go to San Diego, but it's also super weird because I'm not the best in social situations. It's just gonna be strange meeting someone that I've virtually met a decade and a half ago.
And so the couple fly out to meet Cameron. He meets them at the airport and drives them to their Airbnb. And guys, the Airbnb is absolutely lovely. It's stunning. And you can see for once that Annalie seems happy. And she tells production she's finally glad to get some space, so she can be alone with Cameron. What? I guess. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. But yes, Clayton's lack of friends is more than strange. And even at his bachelor party, if he has any friends, they'd chosen to celebrate the occasion by staying the fuck away. The only person that came was his friend Cameron. And Annalie called them a pair of nerds. Yeah, this lack of friends is a massive problem for Annalie and yet another red flag. And in at number 4 is the double date from hell. Annalie finally realises that the reason that Clayton doesn't interact with other human beings is 1, because he lacks the ability, and 2, because they lack the inclination. Guys, just nobody wants to take that job. Oh dear. So the two couples met up for a dinner date, and the whole meeting had, well, a pervasively anticlimactic quality, but then somehow it got worse.
But yeah, man, so how's your guys' day been?
It's been going good, man. Going good. Nothing too much to complain about. Pretty easy day.
There's always something to complain about, Cameron. Come on now.
So just to be clear, Cameron was on a very negative vibe right from the off. He made everything uncomfortable and awkward. The waitress came over and asked them for their drink order. The group all ordered cocktails, but Clayton said, I need the virgin version. 1, because I don't drink alcohol. Clayton, you should, for everybody else's comfort. And 2, because Annalie's not having sex with me. What? Guys, he said it in front of everybody. Ink the waitress. Somehow Clayton thought calling Annalie out in front of other people might just help his cause. Clayton, I can only offer you my deepest condolences, for you have suffered the worst of all bereavements, the loss of your freaking mind. How do you think that's gonna work? Annalie gave him daggers. And when Cameron said, I know what those eyes mean, shut up, shut up. Clayton said, oh well, what's she gonna do? Not have sex with me? Clayton, yes, that's exactly what it means. Guys, he really has no social skills whatsoever. Thick skin doesn't even begin to describe it. I genuinely believe he'll be able to survive the apocalypse. But guys, even though it was Orcs AF, Cameron decided to ask a few more questions.
Is this an ongoing issue right now? Or?
The streak is running long.
Oh no, the dry streak, huh?
The dry.
Oh my god, that's bad.
Yeah.
Guys, stop, just stop. I can't believe this. And then Cameron had the temerity to say, is this topic uncomfortable for you, Anali? She said yes, it is. And guys, I'm not saying they discussed this for too long, but it was still continuing after the conclusion of the inquiry into bloody COVID. I honestly thought it would never end. But guys, then Anali told production Clayton wants to act all macho, but if his friends were to see him at home, they'd realise he's a kitten. And she said this all in quite a derisory fashion. Yeah, she was not at all happy with this, and she spent the whole of the next day going on and on about it. But Clayton didn't seem to understand why it was a problem talking about their sex life or lack thereof to somebody that he's met for the very first time. But one of the main points of her irritation was the fact that he said all of this in her presence. Just talk to your friend about it when I'm not there. And in at number 3, Annalise showed no interest in organising her own wedding. But when Clayton pressed her and said, well, what is it you want? She managed to ask for some, well, virtually impossible things. One of those things was live llamas at the wedding. Knowing this was virtually impossible, Clayton graciously handed over the task of finding these live llamas to his sister Brandy, who, when she heard about the plan, very promptly slammed the phone down on him.
So some things I need. I need a person in a guinea pig costume. We also need potentially a llama or an alpaca, whichever is available, for like pictures, decorations.
I'm not going to be getting a freaking llama.
Annalie, who's failed to tell her father she's even getting married, wants a pot of Peru there with her. Really? Her lack of interest tells me that she sees it as some sort of fun thing to do, and she's not taking this wedding seriously at all. Ergo, she's unlikely to be taking the marriage with Clayton seriously either. It seems like somewhat of a short-term plan, rather than a lifelong commitment. And in at number 2 is the fact that Annalie doesn't really seem to get on with Clayton's mum. So she's quite unhappy with the fact that Clayton lives with his mum still. And she said at one point, there's absolutely no way that I still want to live with my mother-in-law after I get married. But she hasn't said anything about this to Clayton as yet, which is probably something she should do. But in addition to this, since she's moved in, according to Clayton's mum, she neither tidies nor washes up after herself. And so Clayton's mum keeps making comments such as, there's a lot of dishes in the kitchen, or we need this food putting away. And Annalie just kind of goes, yeah, and then she disappears. And I think if you're really into someone, you'd make that extra effort to ensure that you had a really good relationship with his mum. But this doesn't seem to be a big issue to Annalie. And again, it kind of hints to me that she doesn't see this relationship for the long term. I see fireworks in the future between these two. Anyway, finally, in at number 1, there's Annalie's reaction and interaction with the strippers at her bachelorette party. So Clayton asked Brandy to organise a bachelorette party for Annalie, and Brandy said straight away, yep, I've already started. I bet you have, Brandy, I bet you have. She's been married 3 times, and it's my sincere belief it's just so she can squeeze more bachelorette parties in. But Clayton was 100% sure he wanted there to be no strippers at this event. Oh, Clayton, Annalie's 100% sure she does want strippers at this event. Guess who wins? Now, the very first thing we have to note is the fact that Annalie actually told Brandy in no uncertain terms that she wanted a stripper. It was an express request. And as Clayton got on with his boring bachelor party, Annalie and Brandy's bunch of, well, sozzled girls all went wild on the party bus with a stripper. Annalie, it would seem, for the first time since she's been in America, is loving life. And if my eyes do not deceive me, it would appear that she prefers the stripper to Clayton. Unsurprising. So when Clayton finally discovered that they had a stripper, he was absolutely vexed. Annalie first said, it's no big deal. And then when he said, but I told you, no strippers, she then said, well, I didn't know it was going to happen. Brandy organised it. But guys, then Annalie tried to say that she was really just joking when she told Brandy that she wanted strippers. And she never ever thought a stripper would actually turn up. Well then why did you say, to production, I hope there are strippers. I see these things all the time on American movies, and I hope that my bachelorette party can be just like that. Why did you say that for, if you never thought there were going to be strippers? But what poor old Clayton doesn't know is how she behaved with the stripper. Now guys, this stripper was not backward at coming forward. He sat on top of her. He waggled his nether regions in her face. And all the time Clayton was busy doing this or this. But I have to tell you, Anali never looked so alive as she did when that stripper was grinding on her. I don't think Clayton's her type in any way, shape or form. But guys, I'm not quite sure. Either she doesn't fancy Clayton full stop and she's just here to get a green card, or she used to fancy him when she met him in Peru and when she's met him previously, but now in his own natural habitat, she doesn't like what she sees. And I think the latter is more likely than the former, but yeah, I don't really know. If this wedding does go ahead, which I highly doubt, I don't think this couple are going to be married for very long at all. Anyway guys, that's where we leave things for this video. And so just to let you know, I'm going to do another video on this couple so we can explore Strippergate in a little bit more detail, but also so we can look at the aftermath of Strippergate that happened this week. I kind of felt as if Anali was gaslighting Clayton. She for sure wasn't telling anywhere like the truth. So yes, I'm going to do a deep dive into that whole situation later on this week. But guys, I'd love to know what you think. Do you think this couple will last? Do you think they'll even get married? And do you think that Anali fancies Clayton in any way, shape or form? I know I don't. I think he's really into her. But she's always so derisory to him. She calls him a nerd. And she laughs at him, both to his face and behind his back, to production. It certainly just doesn't scream true love to me. So yes, please put your comments down below. And also, if you think I've missed something out of my top 10, please let me know what you would have put in. And I'll get on with my next video. Guys, it's been a marathon, but thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and all of that good stuff. And also, if you know anybody who you think would enjoy this video, please consider sharing on your social media. Smash that like button. And guys, I'll see you all very soon. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.